Hey, what's going on, everybody? Steve here. I hope you're having a beautiful day. And in this video, I wanted to answer a question regarding a conversation that I was having behind the scenes with my buddy Mike. And Mike was talking to me about how he's been selling on eBay for over 12 years or over 10 years. Yeah, he has 12,000 products in his eBay store, something along those lines. And I mean, he's got a lot of items for sale in his eBay store. And he's been reaching out to me behind the scenes about getting started with eBay to Amazon. He sees, what I'm doing. He sees how, I'm doing pretty good in my business, right? I'm selling a lot of products. I've made about over six figures in the last year. And it's gotten to the point where I barely work anymore. And I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I want to give some more context because I don't want people to ever think like I'm trying to, be like Tony Robbins' late night infomercial. And I want to kind of like set some expectations, right? And make some things clear. But Mike's been watching my videos. He sees how I run my business. He sees I'm making over six figures, working only like sometimes a couple hours per month. Like I've got this whole entire operation outsourced and, I'm leveraging a virtual assistant team in the Philippines who pretty much do all my sourcing. I'm leveraging a prep center out of Ohio who does all my logistics, listing and shipping. I'm leveraging FBA, Fulfillment by Amazon, to do all the picking and packing, storing the inventory, customer service. And, my business is pretty much just a well-oiled machine right now that's just working off of systems that I've built over the years, right? So Mike, he was asking me like, how do you make the transition from eBay to Amazon, right? How do you, like, pretty much is saying like he's so burned out in a sense, and I'm kind of paraphrasing. So Mike, don't come at me, bro, if I'm misquoting you a little bit, but from what I got is you're a little bit burned out. You're freaking burning the candle at both ends. You're working all the time. You're making good money, right? You're making good money, but you don't have, I'm assuming you don't have your freedom. You don't have your time. Like the thing with eBay is you always got to be listing, right? If you stop listing, they start to punish you. You got to remember, I sold on eBay for 6 or 7 years, like full time for like 4 or 5 years. That was what I talked about on this YouTube channel for many, many years. Now, obviously, eBay's changed a lot. Don't ask me eBay questions. I'm definitely not an eBay expert anymore. I'm not going to even pretend to be with any amount of my imagination. But I remember what it was like. You would get punished if you weren't consistently listing. And the more you listed, right, considering the items were good and the bigger your store got, the more items you were having to ship every single day. Now, I don't know Mike's situation. I don't know if he has a warehouse, if he has a team, but from my understanding, from what I've gathered, I don't think Mike has a team. He's pretty much doing everything himself. I could be wrong, but I believe he's listing everything and shipping everything and prepping everything and cleaning everything. And people don't realize eBay is a lot more time consuming than you would think, right? eBay's not just like listing and shipping stuff. Like, you're listing stuff, you're cleaning stuff, you're having to store stuff, you're having to create a system. Like with Mike with 12,000 products, you better believe he's got some type of custom SKU system. Like you need space, you need to store it all, you need to make sure that the items don't get damaged, right? There's customer service, there's people asking questions, there's returns, there's having to contact eBay and opening up cases, and there's scammers, and there's printing labels, and there's making sure that you have boxes and supplies and dropping things off at the post office. There's way more involved in eBay than most people freaking realize, right? People are like, I got all these items, I'm gonna just turn it into cash on eBay. And it's like, yes, you can, but it's way more time than you would think. Matter of fact, over the last year, I've been storing and stocking up a lot of my Amazon returns. And I just did a deal with Vinny the Toy Master. If you guys don't know Vinny, he's gonna be getting his YouTube channel back up, by the way. Well, he never had one, but I'm going to be helping him get one up. He sells toys. He sells on eBay. He's full-time. Anyways, long story short, I did a big deal with him for multiple thousands of dollars with all my returns, and I liquidated it to him for about 20%. I could have sold it myself, and, instead of getting whatever he paid me, right, I don't want to share his public information with our deal without his permission. I could have made 3 to 4 times as much money, but I would have had to spend 30 hours a week for the next month to list it and ship it in customer service. And I don't want to ruin a good thing that I already have right now, which is my free time and making really good money and not having to work that much on my e-commerce business. I spend a lot of my time on Replay Catcher and creating content and working out and, trying to build some guns here, going to the gym, health and fitness, getting outside, real estate, different things like that. I'm more passionate about than e-commerce. But let me get back on track. How do you transition, right? You're making your money. Your bread and butter is selling on eBay, but it's consumed you. It's consumed your whole entire life. How do you start transitioning? Well, I'm going to say this right now. I don't think you should quit eBay. right? And I don't think Mike is even saying that to begin with. But here's the deal. If there's a problem, and I'm not saying there's a problem with selling on eBay and being consumed with it, but it sounds like it is for Mike. If it's a problem for you and you're getting burned out, you're not enjoying it as much, you feel like maybe you want to make more money, but you can't, you don't have enough time, you have to realize you've got to make a change, okay? Nothing is going to change on the outside with the amount of income that you're making, with your happiness levels, with anything in your life, if you don't make that decision that I got to change, something has to change. And you don't have to know exactly how you're going to do it, but that's the first step to change, is admitting that there's a problem, admitting that I want something more, admitting that this might have worked for a while and this has gotten me to the point where I've gotten to today, and I'm proud of myself and I've made this money and I built up the store and I have 12,000 items, right? That's your bread and butter. You still have to take care of that, but you have to admit to yourself, there's a change that I need to make. And what I always recommend to people is, you know, say you're working a job and you want to get into Amazon or you want to get into eBay, start carving out a little bit of time, right? Instead of maybe you're spending 60 hours per week in your eBay business, right? Maybe only spend 50 and start spending 10 hours per week, just 1 to 2 hours per day, right? Or even 5 hours per week working on your little side hustle. You got to think of it as, it's kind of like you're planting a seed in the garden and you don't know if the weather's going to be good. You don't know if it's going to work out. Maybe you're not even sure if you're going to enjoy having a garden and taking care of a plant, right? And maybe something's going to happen. Maybe a deer is going to come and eat it, right? You never know. Like, you could get your Amazon account suspended. You don't even know if it's going to work out, but you know deep down inside your heart, your subconscious mind is telling you, I've got to make a change. So once you decide to make a change, don't just flip it, right? You got to pay your bills. You got to take care of your family. You've got a good thing. You've got an amazing skill set. You've learned so much. You've built up a store of 12,000 items in eBay. Like, dude, pat yourself on the back. Do you know you're in the 1% club? Do you know how many people can do that? Like, hardly anybody can do that, right? You've been doing it. You've been making money. You've been paying your bills. Dude, that's awesome. Like, you've acquired so much skills and discipline that can translate over into something else like Amazon that can make you a lot of money with little time. But you have to understand in the beginning, and I was telling Mike behind the scenes, anytime you start something new, you're going to have to dedicate time to it. The problem is Mike doesn't have time. You have to dedicate time. You have to carve out time. Sometimes you have to take 2 steps back to take 3 steps forward, or sometimes you have to take 10 steps back to take 20 steps forward. And what I mean by that is, instead of making $10,000 a month on eBay, you might have to make $9,000 a month for the next 6 months, because you're going to spend that time that you used to put on eBay in your Amazon business, right? Or whatever it is. I'm not here to convince you to do Amazon, right? But I love Amazon because you can leverage FBA. You know, I built a system where I could buy everything on eBay, flip it on Amazon, get virtual assistants to do it all, set up a logistics company, a little owl prep. You know, I built a system, but sometimes, you see what I'm saying? Like, you have to pull back and make a little bit less money, or allocate less time, or be, you know, more productive so you have more time available to put into that garden, to put into planting that Amazon seed and taking care of it and nurturing it. But what you have to understand is you're gonna have to put in time. Don't listen to these people online and these YouTubers who are promising you that you're gonna make all this money and it's so quick. It's a bunch of baloney. They're trying to sell you a course. They're trying to sell you a program. They're trying to just get your money out of your pocket and put it in their pocket. They're not telling you the truth. This is how it is for all businesses. And you know this, Mike. Like, I'm preaching to the choir. You know how hard it was to build up your eBay business and how much time and dedication. It's going to be the same with Amazon. You're going to have to learn how to set up an account, go through your video verification, get your Amazon account set up, right? You're going to have to learn the differences between Amazon and eBay. There's a lot of differences, right? You're going to have to learn about the fees and analyzing deals. There's no sold listings on Amazon, right? We use Keepa. Keepa, it's kind of like a tracker of the history of a particular product, and you can see what it's been selling for, how many sellers have been on the listing, what it's been selling for in the past. So you have to learn the differences of how to analyze deals. You have to learn how to list and how to ship. I know Mike was sharing some interest about being a merchant fulfilled seller. So, you know, if you're going to do eBay to Amazon merchant fulfilled, you certainly can do that, but you're going to have to understand how to read a Keepa chart and how to know if the merchants are winning the buy box or FBA. You're going to have to learn about what the buy box is. It's a process. You're going to have to learn about the payouts, right? It's different on Amazon. They pay you out in typically 2-week cycles, whereas on eBay, you know, you got to request your payout or whatever every couple days. I know the system's changed over the years with that, but what's the best way? Start carving out a little bit of time and planting seeds, right? People used to always make fun of me. I remember 8, 9 years ago because I was always planting seeds. You know, I knew I didn't want to always be an eBay seller. I knew I didn't always want to just be selling clothes, and I was always learning new things. I planted the digital ebook creation seed on Kindle and then creating my own ebooks with Gumroad. I planted the seed of affiliate market. I planted the seed of, you know, building a brand and a YouTube channel and the green room back in the day. I planted the seed of learning how to develop software and working with developers and building my software. I've planted the seeds of investing in real estate and building a pretty good size stock portfolio. Like, I planted all these seeds. Why? Not because it made other people happy or it made them upset or whatever, because I knew that was my personality. I wanted multiple income streams. I wanted the freedom, and I wanted the, how do I say it? When I went to bed at night, I wanted to know if shit hit the fan with one thing, that I had something else. I didn't want to just have eBay. I wanted to have Amazon as well. I just didn't want to have Amazon. I wanted to have a personal brand. I just didn't want a personal brand. I wanted to have some like of my own products that I was selling that didn't rely on eBay or Amazon. Like, I had my own products that I was selling through my email list, through like Gumroad or through Stripe or whatever. Like, that's me. You've got to learn what's best for you, right? So how do you transition at the end of the day to something new? You've just got to get started. You've got to carve out some time. You've got to be patient. Take care of what you're doing right now on eBay to make money, and just slowly but surely plant the seed. I always recommend starting by just flipping some basic items. Don't start doing eBay to Amazon like me in the beginning, Mike. I would start by going to maybe a thrift store or a library, which you're probably already doing, right? So sign up for an Amazon account, go through the video verification, get your account set up, and just start slow. Like, just look at it as almost like a little science experiment, right? You're gonna list up a couple of books. You're gonna study though. You're not gonna just list items. You're gonna study. You're gonna watch my videos. You're gonna watch other videos. You're gonna, go through just different material online, articles, and just researching and studying like how to read a keeper chart, how to list, how to ship. And you're gonna learn, and you're gonna play the long game. You're not gonna be looking at, oh, I'm gonna just quit eBay and replace my income. It's never gonna happen. I'm telling you right now, like in a short period of time. Plus, you would never want to do that. You have a good size eBay business, but have a goal of making your first $100, okay? Within 3 months, like $100 per month, and then 500, and then 1,000, then 2,000, and you start to get the hang of things, and then you realize, oh my God, on Amazon, I love it, or Amazon, I hate it, and you start to allocate your time, and you start to move around. Most people never do that. They never take time to plant another seed, and guess what? A storm comes, something happens, their eBay account gets suspended, or their Amazon account gets suspended. You have to understand, this isn't our freaking sandbox. We're playing an eBay sandbox, Amazon sandbox. You never want to be in a position where your family is at risk, your bills, your livelihood is at risk because of one platform, eBay or Amazon, or they freaking do a freaking fall update on eBay, or if something happens on Amazon. That's why I'm a huge proponent of building multiple streams of income. I've got a lot of streams of income now, but guess what? Every single stream that I've created, I didn't even know if it was going to work. Some worked, some failed. Some I built up really good, and then all of a sudden, like, things changed, and I'm like, okay, I'm pretty much done with that. Like Kindle publishing, they changed the rules back in the day, and they dropped my income by 50%. And I was like, thank God I have other things. I'm just going to abandon this, and I'm going to focus on something else, right? Now, of course, if you want to be really successful at something, you can't just quit when it gets hard. But for me, I'm not just about making money. I want to enjoy what I'm doing. I want to enjoy my life. I want to enjoy what I'm doing. I want to feel like I'm passionate about it. And some seeds that you plant, you're not going to be passionate. You're going to, in the beginning, you're going to, and then you're going to be like, this sucks, right? Like, it's kind of happened with Amazon. I used to really love selling on Amazon. I was super passionate. I'm going to build this. I'm going to grow this. And some people ask me like, Steve, you're doing like 600-700K a year. You're making 100K. Like, you make it sound so easy. Why not just scale it to $3 million a year? I can literally spend $300,000 a month right now. I could do $5-6 million a year with eBay to Amazon if I wanted to. But why don't I? Because at the end of the day, Amazon sucks. And I know it kind of sounds like I'm contradicting myself, but they suck in a sense of like, they'll just freaking hit people with Section 3s for no reason. They'll gate products. They'll lose shipments. Terrible customer service. I mean, there's pros and cons, but I use Amazon for cash flow. I understand that selling on Amazon is like a lake, right? And inside that lake, there's predators, right? Or I'm in an ocean and I know there's sharks. I always say there's sharks. There's sharks around. So I kind of know how to avoid them. It doesn't mean I'm not going to accidentally one day get eaten by a shark and get my account suspended or kicked off. It could happen, but there's enough how do I say, I'm having enough fun playing around in the water and making money that it's like, it's worth the risk of running into a shark, right? So I know I'm all over the place with this video. Let me know if this helped at all, guys. But again, I've built a lot of income streams over the years, some good, some bad, some worked really well, some didn't. But it all starts with planting the seed, making the decision, allocating your time, and being patient with it. You've got to understand you're not going to get rich quick. Nobody ever does. Yeah, maybe a couple people do, but it's like, it's the 1 out of a million, right? And we're not in this to get rich. Like, we're trying to make good money. Like, most people never get rich selling on Amazon or selling on eBay. They'll show you big ass sales, but they're freaking $800,000 in debt. So we're using eBay and Amazon for cash flow. We're using it to pay our bills. We're using it to make extra money, to invest in other things. At least that's the way I look at it. But let me know if this helped, guys. I just want to say thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much, Mike, for reaching out behind the scenes. I know I didn't go super in depth in terms of like actionable things of what you should do. And the reason is you're not at that point yet. You haven't gotten to that point yet. Although, as I think about it, Mike actually already has signed up for his Amazon account. He has sold about $50,000 worth of books. So, you know, maybe I'll have to make a part 2 to this video, but I wanted to talk to the person about like how to like mentally transition, right? He's already done that. He's already signed up. He's already, you know, shipped out some books and whatnot. So I should probably make a part 2 to this to give more actionable steps. So I will make a part 2 to this actually, because for some reason when I was making this video, I was thinking like he hasn't signed up yet. But I remember I asked you yesterday, did you sell books? And yeah, he has sold, I think, about $50,000 worth of books. So I'll make a part 2 to this in terms of like how to actually get through it. But I really want to spend the time more on the mental aspect, because again, Mike was saying to me behind the scenes like multiple times, like, I don't have time. I don't have time. I don't have time. So you've got to make that decision. You've got to allocate the time. You already know how to list. You already know how to ship. Now you just got to dedicate and commit the time to it. So we'll do a part 2 of like really how to get into it, how to really dive into eBay to Amazon, how to really transition from just maybe thrifting or books. But with that being said, guys, much love. I'll see you in the next one.
It just feels like yesterday.